Ospreay's entrance. My God.
Boy.
Um,
Look, before you say that, James, with Osprey's entrance, when I saw that, and then I saw how they were reacting to Tetsuya Naito in the main event, I was like, well, why couldn't they have just been Naito versus fucking Osprey in the main event? It sounds like they would have reacted to him. It sounds like the Japanese fans would have loved Will Ospreay just the same if he was the IWGP champion going into that thing.
Rich, we've seen two Will Ospreay in Tetsuya Naito matches. That should have been the main event of this show.
Like
Like, what are we
for
talking about?
all this for 27,000, right? And I was seeing people, going into
The
this saying,
27,000. Look.
look,
Sonata
was saying,
is. Look,
I was saying this.
Sonata. Go ahead. Sorry.
People were acting like 40,000 people were about to be in the dome and all this other shit, whether they were joking or serious. It's on the internet, so I can't tell a lot of the time, right? But it just seemed like it was just this thing that just needed to happen. I'm here to say it could have been fucking anybody in the ring with Tetsuya Naito.
That's where I was going to get at. Like, I don't know how much that story of Sonata added to the draw, but I do know that the roll call was the fucking draw, the number one draw. Like, regardless of they had the match in New Japan Cup last year, and he beat Naito, and he became the champion at Sakura Genesis. He's been the champion the whole time, and all that kind of stuff. It was an unsuccessful title run that was propped up. The only thing that was saving grace was that Naito was going to take it off him, and everyone was going to be super happy because he finally got to do the roll call. We knew what was going to happen. Like, look, I think what they did post-match for Sonata actually does help him as a star in the future. But that has nothing to do with the walk-up to the show. None at all. So yeah, I'm with you. They could have put anybody in there aside from Okada in there, and they would have got that 20 or damn near 30,000.
But
Yeah, I'm
that
with you.
reaction to Osprey in the beginning, that was like a thank you. That was like a you've been here for 8 years. We saw you grow up essentially, and we're here for you, and we appreciate you, and thank you, and give us one more. That's what it felt like, and it was like a really really special thing that I think Will Ospreay should always remember. And he did come out there dressed ridiculous, but you know
Yeah. So the Jack the Ripper thing, I, I like it didn't work for me when Balor was doing it in NXT. So whatever. But what I will say is that Osprey's not done with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but he's done as like, oh, this is number one a place, right? And he's left a legacy behind. He's one of the all-time great gaijins in the history of Japanese pro wrestling. And people aren't going to think about it in that way, but he absolutely is. And we talked about AJ Styles, a few minutes ago. He's one of the all-time greats. Like that, you look at that match guide from 2016 to now, it is filthy. It is absolutely filthy. He's had some of the greatest matches I've ever seen, and I feel like they did not maximize what they had his tenure. They did not. They absolutely did
they
not.
never let this man win a G1. They gave
Nope.
him that very brief IWGP title run that
Yep.
happened
Well, I mean,
square in
he
the
fucked up his
middle
neck.
of the worst part of the pandemic. He
Yep.
never gets it back. He's
Right.
carrying around the fake belt or whatever
Yep. Yep.
for whatever, and then he never gets it back. Never even gives another shot at the thing, and they wasted his time the last couple years. I'm gonna say it. They wasted his time. And all this guy did was go around the world, be this great global ambassador, and it was like Will Ospreay. Every time he showed the AEW, it was like he was trying to wrestle his way off the island. That's what he was doing. It felt like,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
it was just like, yeah, man. Like, how much younger is this guy gonna get? He's not getting no younger. So especially like the very physically taxing style. You talk about the match list that he submitted, and it's just like they never wanted to go with him. I just keep coming back to that, and this is more proof. He's taking
the
the
sad
pin.
thing, and the sad thing is like the person that was in his way was Jay White, and it's like we knew what it was. Then it's like, bro, Osprey's better than him. Like, and no knock against Jay White. He's a great wrestler, but like there is a ceiling that he just cannot reach that Will Ospreay can because Will Ospreay, like since 2019, has probably been the best every performer in the world. Not probably, has been, right? And it's like, okay, man, you keep doing this, and it's like, well, this is Will Ospreay third from the top in the dome, and we just saw Jay White in the main event on his way
Look
out.
how they sent those two guys out. Are you serious? Like good. Like I'm glad him and he got to have that match with Kenny Omega last year. Like arguably the greatest match that's ever taken place in the dome. And his reward the next year.
That's not arguable. That's Kenny Omega's second best match at best in the dome. But whatever.
Like
it's up there. Like look, there's so
there.
Many things that Ospreay's done that's been Wrestle Kingdom, everything in between has been amazing.
Like when it comes to Tokyo, bro, his Tokyo Dome resume itself is fucking crazy, and all he got rewarded with now was getting pinned by a dude without abs. So like, and David Finlay. So like a dude that rejects.
That's not fair. I ain't got abs either.
A dude that completely rejects the notion of being a Bullet Club leader with abs. All the rest of them cut, shredded. Him, no.
Oh my god.
But
I wasn't gonna let you get that off. I'm like, look, man, that's too mean. That's too mean.
I mean, wait till we get to the main event.
Oh man.
But yeah, like just how Will Ospreay kind of got done the last 2.5 years, I'll say. And maybe it's the woe is Will Ospreay. He got to be the showcase match wherever he wanted in the world. They let him wrestle whoever. Yeah. They let him do the Make-A-Wish thing when he's wrestling Mirafu. Yes, I understand all that. But why didn't y'all get nothing out of it?
Right.
Like, how did it service New Japan Pro Wrestling to keep him, like, tucked away? Like, him having these matches with, like, he had all these matches with, like, Yota Tsuji, Shota Umino at the end of last year.
In last year, was that end of 2 years ago?
End of last year. And it was like legitimizing these guys. They don't let any of them beat him.
Right.
Or whatever. And they just like kind of like let these matches happen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they happen at the time of the year where it's like, all right, we're just waiting for the dome. Mm-hmm. And it just felt like it should have been bigger. It should have been, like James. Do you remember what Will Ospreay did at Dominion? Because I don't.
Should I have to pull it up? Hold on. What did he do in Dominion? I don't remember at all.
I think didn't he have like a short match? No, I'm thinking of a different year. Like, was he injured?
I don't think so.
He fought Lance Archer. That was this year. Okay,
that's right. Yeah,
so that's the match I was thinking of. I thought that was a different year.
That was the finals to get to the thing, right? That was the tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, man, like he's had a lot of his booking has been. It's almost like they knew he was out, but I feel like the philosophy when someone's out, fucking maximize him until he walks out the door. And I don't think they did that. And they're letting him wrestle Okada next week at Battle in the Valley and all that. But I'm like, yo, they're going to have less than 2,000 people there. They're putting it on pay-per-view. And it's like, it just feels like they took a odd, and I don't know whether this stuff has to go through Tony Khan, like with this. And, I don't think most of this stuff would have had to go through Tony Khan, dating back to last year. So I don't know what, the situation is now, but
it's been weird. Like they spent all this time with Jay and with Ospreay, and they didn't maximize either one of them on the way out. And it was apparent, like during the pandemic back in 2020, that both of them weren't going to leave. It was apparent. And they didn't maximize either one of them. Like if you want to say, well, they put Jay in the dome or whatever, I was like, no, that man left and then didn't do a G1, then came back to do the G1, and then got the belt. Or got the belt, then did the G1, and then dropped it right back to the person that had it. Like, okay, whatever. That's like a 1-1. Like they did not they did not handle this well at all. And now their answers is like, oh, I guess now we'll go to Zack Sabre Jr. It's like, well, you could have did that 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Good luck
Because
with
the answer
David.
ain't Finley.
I was like, good luck with David Finley. We're gonna find out.
Is a real answer like you got to bring in more Mox? You got to get more Mox dates. Is that the real answer?
No, he's not the answer because he's never gonna be yours, and he's like not young.
I know that, but do they know that?
No, like, and they don't
Are
have.
they going to
Rely
on the BCC?
Nah, those guys aren't under contracts, so like they need to find somebody that's like you would think maybe ELP or whatever. Like
Rich,
you would
they're
think.
not under contract. They're not under contracts, but those are people that absolutely will and can be, and we just saw can be the quote unquote international main event for the Dome. Dan Finley's never going to be that. He's never going to be that.
But I think those are different roles, though. Like what Will Ospreay was for New Japan, and like what Moxley or Danielson would be, or now what Kenny was last year. Like that's like that's your import guy. Like they need someone based there, and it seems like Sabre's going to be in that role, right? But or splitting it with Finley. Yeah, Finley's not the guy. They had Jay and Will.
They'll figure that out soon.
They had Jay and Will in these spots as those two.
Yep.
They never made a feud with them. They never like they only fought each other that one time. And it was like 2019 when Jay had just won the belt and Oscar was still a junior.
Right.
It was still
like a junior. Yep.
There's just missed opportunities, but everything doesn't always happen. So
yeah.